I wasn't born ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday night chat. I'm your host, Dana, and I have my co-host with me tonight, Becca. So tonight we are going to be finishing up our beginner scarves, but if you have not started a beginner scarf yet, do not fret. You can start one tonight and work on it with us, because we literally are just going to be here crocheting and hanging out and just finishing this project. And then we are going to be throwing around ideas of what our next project is going to be. So if you have things you would like to learn how to make or want us to make together, let us know in the comments. I'm going to go to my bigger screen for a minute because I did talk to you guys about a project I've been working on for weeks as a Christmas project or Christmas present for my niece. And
Adorable.
Dun, 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 dun.
Drum roll!
I finished her! Look at how stinking cute she is.
The nose is my favorite part.
The
it's
nose
so cute.
turned out so good.
Such a cute
Her
nose.
eyes are a little wonky, but this was my very first doll, okay? So
Well, and let's be real though, not everyone has equal nose like eyes. Everyone's eyes are a little
true.
asymmetrical.
That's
so.
absolutely true. Okay, guys, so if you joined us for Whip Wednesday this last Wednesday, I was working on her dress. So here's the finished the finished product of her dress. And then I added these super cute buttons. Actually, maybe I should show you guys more on the above view. So let's go to the above view.
Hit us with that above action.
Here we go. Okay, let me move my beginner scarf out of the way. I was all ready to start that.
Beautiful.
Okay, so here she is in all of her glory. Now, for those who want to know what the pattern is, I should have put it in the comments. Maybe I'll go ahead and add it in the comments. I was going to put it in the description, and I totally forgot. But that's okay.
I get that Discord started, too.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to look into how to do that, because I have no idea how to do that.
I think I figured it out the other
Okay,
night. But
sweet.
Anyway, regardless.
We'll have a meeting
I digress.
later. Not on live. The pattern for this doll, it's called the Gracie doll pattern, and it's by A Crafty Concept. If you search A Crafty Concept on Pinterest, I mean, even if you search Gracie doll on Pinterest or Etsy, you will find this pattern. And so it's so cool. I really, really enjoyed this pattern because she had all, you can do it in any skin tone you'd like, and she gives you 3 different yarn options of the different shades of color to match your skin tone. And so it made it really easy for me to find the skin tone I needed to match my niece. Like I said, I made her this for Christmas. And so you basically make the doll pieces and then you crochet it together and then you make her accessories. So like I said, on Whip Wednesday, I made her dress, and then I actually also made her shoes. Her shoes and her bow tie are the same color. They're a light purple to match the dark purple dress. And she recommends you can also use stretchable nylon as your headband. I went to 3 different stores, even had Becca look at a store for me. We could not find nylon anywhere, so I just crocheted a chain for her headband. But this was a lot of work, but this was so worth it. It turned out awesome. I'm so excited that I have it finished to share with you guys before I send her off to Indiana. But anyway, I just had to share that with you guys before we got started.
It's so cute.
Now,
so kawaii.
We are going to continue working on our beginner scarf. I tried to get some done this week to be farther along, and I did not.
Oh, there's not
nearly as much done. But that's okay. That's why we are here to hang out.
Get our productive
Good job
on.
doll making. Thanks, Marissa, and welcome. I'm glad that you're here hanging out with us for however long you are.
Ooh, that knot is wicked, man.
For the rest of you, if you're not working on a beginner scarf with us, I would love to know what you are working on if you're just here hanging out. I love to hear what other people are working on project-wise, and if you are working on a beginner scarf, I did create a hashtag on Instagram. It's MDC Beginner Scarf, and if you hashtag your photos, I will be able to see them, and then I can share them in my stories. Or if you share your project in your stories and tag me, Madison Day Crochet, I will share them.
Cute idea.
So do that so I can see. I would love to see what you guys have come up with, what colors you're using, color combinations. Everybody's got their own color taste, color palette that they like. So I love to see what people come up with that. But yeah, how's everybody's Sunday? Everybody have a good week? Christmas is less than 2 weeks away, is that right? What's today, the 13th? So it's 11 days?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
I haven't even figured out what I want to get my husband for Christmas yet. He won't tell me anything.
Well, you better start getting creative then.
I know. I'm glad I had like a incognito conversation with him yesterday. I was like, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, but like, what do you want? Is there something like you could use, or like is there something that you like don't want? 'Cause like I was like, so like what about like, because I was thinking about getting him this like beard kit, like a really nice like beard care kit with like a really nice straight razor kind of a thing, like just really a nice thing that he would use. And then he was like, well, I don't really. I was like, what about like like, is there any self-care stuff you want, or like any electronics? And he's like, well, I don't know, self-care stuff. He's like, I don't know how long I'm gonna have the beard for, so I don't know. Because he might have to cut it if he does get a certain job somewhere, like he just wants to keep that open. So he's like, I don't know. So I'm like, I'm glad I had an incognito conversation with you because I almost bought you this really nice beard kit thing. So
and you'd have been so sad. You'd
I
been
know.
Like, well, I might have to trim
terrible.
my beard.
Yeah, he would have been really bummed.
Yes, Marissa, it is technically next week. That's why I was like, it's like less than 2 weeks away. Marissa, are you working on anything tonight? How is it going in good old Tennessee? Oh, I should have showed you. So Marissa actually sent me a picture from one of our plays. It was, I think, the semester before you came back, our Christmas semester. It was the Rented Christmas. Do you remember that play? Did you come see us perform
No,
that?
I didn't get to. That was my weird year.
That was the one play that Jacob actually memorized his lines before opening night.
Wow.
And that was always our joke, was that we're like, remember that one time Jacob actually
memorized his lines? That's
it was so
really funny.
But it was a picture of all of us.
It's a miracle. Oh,
that
that's
play.
so sweet.
We were babies.
No.
I miss
Those
theater
were the good
so
old
much.
days. I know, me too.
The good old days where we had nothing to worry about except memorizing our lines.
No.
And being dumb teenagers.
It's true. Memorizing our lines. Dumb boy drama.
Dumb boy drama.
Those were the days.
Also, I just want to real quick say that thank you guys for just being here at our later time than what I originally planned for today.
Yeah.
Life just gets a little crazy, and I think we've decided that we're just going to go back to 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock seems to be easy for us, whether that means there's more people to watch or not.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're here tonight with us, thank you. I appreciate just your support and just for you guys being here. Let's see. Marissa says she's finishing making a crochet twist headband and fingerless mitts for a Christmas gift.
Cute.
And I missed the good old days. I know, me too.
No.
Cute crochet twist headband.
That's cute. I never valued fingerless gloves until I started working in that warehouse at the Trap before it was like a real building, like before we had stuff in there and a heater. We didn't have a heater for the first 2 winters, I think we were there. So we had little space heaters and like those giant turbine heaters that would heat up the place. I was the only girl that worked there, so I was the only one that would like freeze to death. But yeah, my hands would be frozen all day. So Mike bought me like a bunch of little tiny space heaters that I could put in like a little space. But I started wearing fingerless gloves because I'd be working on a computer all day. So I'd be like, my hands would be freezing.
Yeah.
So I never valued fingerless gloves until then. And now I'm like, yo, where them fingerless gloves at?
I made Nana some really nice fingerless gloves one year.
They're so pretty.
Or a simple like puff stitch fingerless glove pattern.
Yeah.
Later time works for me since my kids are sleeping. See, and that's the other reason why I went back to the original time, because then Cameron only has to watch the kids for an hour and then they all go to bed. Yeah.
Doing the sleeping nights.
Marissa says that sounds brutal, your warehouse experience.
Yeah, it was really brutal.
But praise God for fingerless gloves.
It's true. There was one day when like I was mudding my boss's office. I was doing like not wallpaper. I was doing like mudding and tapings, putting up drywall and stuff like that. And it was an enclosed area, so I was able to turn on the space heaters. And they put in this giant like turbine heater that was hooked up to a propane tank. And I turned it on, and that room heated up so fast. But one of the guys came in there to start working. He was doing he was putting up some I think he was sealing some stuff. Just some seams and stuff like that, and he was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in there. And so he went out and he was like, hey Art, what's it like being married to the devil? And Art was like, what? And he's like, your wife can withstand the most disturbing like temperatures, and it's like, I don't know, she's probably freezing. He's like, oh no, it is hotter probably than hell in that room. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was just so funny. Art was like, yeah. He's like, that sounds about right. It was pretty funny. I was like, aw, call me the devil, sweet man. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
I thought it was hilarious. Art was like, at first I wanted to be offended, and then I realized what he was talking about, and then it made sense. I was like, yeah, I'm not offended. It's fine. But it was just funny. I was like, yep. But yeah, those were not fun. But yeah, praise God for fingerless gloves. It was not the best.
One of the crocheter designers I follow, she actually designed finger crochet gloves where, like, they're not mittens. They are actually like gloves.
Like the finger ones?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I've actually never seen those before, like crocheted.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
That's really cool.
So if you wanted like actual gloves that, you know, you could still have
gloves.
it over the individual fingers.
That's pretty cool.
She's got a pattern for that.
I like the dragon scale ones that were going around.
Yeah, I made a couple of those.
Yeah, they're really pretty. I like those a lot. Or mermaid scale, or whatever you want to call it.
I think it's actually called the crocodile stitch.
The crocodile stitch. They're dragon scales to me, so.
Dragon scales, dragon scales.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually dragon tails.
Dragon tails, but still, didn't they use a magical dragon scale?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish with all my heart. They would wish on the dragon scale go to.
Oh my gosh, talk about jealousy.
I know, right?
When I was a kid, I was like, why can't I go to a magical world of dragons? The crap. Couldn't be a Power Ranger. Can't have Pokemon. Now I can't have dragons. Life is unfair.
So was I the only one that was like, when Digimon came out, and I'm like, why is this a ripoff of Pokemon?
Yeah, they came out around the same time. I actually think I watched Digimon more religiously than I did Pokemon. We had more cards, but I had more Digimon toys. And I think when I got older, I was more interested in Digimon than I was in Pokemon.
I could not get into Digimon.
Yeah. It's not everyone's thing. I really liked it. I thought the story was really fun. And the movie was phenomenal. Ty's mom is crazy. Remember she's like... did you ever watch the Digimon movie?
Maybe.
Maybe. Or she's like... she's like... are you kids hungry? I just made beef jerky shakes. Or she likes the first time I ever used flour to bake a cake. Like, or she's like juicing onions. Like, she's crazy. It's so funny. I don't know if anyone else remembers that movie, but that's a phenomenal movie. Specifically for Ty's mom. Ty's mom was hilarious.
Yeah,
You're a Pokemon kid.
I was a Pokemon kid. And that really was because David and Jonathan were Pokemon kids. The same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why I watched those two shows was because of David and Jonathan. I remember David had these really cool Sailor Moon cards. They were like... I don't remember, but they were so... I don't remember what kind of cards they were, but I just remember that they were from Sailor Moon and they came in this really cool case. And I'm like, oh. And
Sailor Moon
treasured
cards?
those cards.
I would too. From the 90s?
90s or early 2000s.
Oh my gosh, I would look those up. Were they like kind of like Pokemon cards?
No,
like
they were
cards?
they were like this big. I don't know if they were I don't remember. I just remember they were Sailor Moon cards because that was one of my big memories of Sailor Moon. I wish David was watching and I could ask him.
Oh, these ones, these giant.
Let me see. Oh, you're plugged in.
Hey, no, I can unplug. Like scroll through the pictures. Those ones?
No, I specifically remember the back of them. Maybe it wasn't Sailor Moon then. Maybe it was something else.
Cardcaptor Sakura, maybe?
Maybe. I could have sworn it was Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that they were like long and big, and they came in this like super special case. I remember the back of them looking a familiar way. Oh well.
It's okay.
Maybe
I was
it
gonna
was
say, if
something
he does
else.
still have them, they are worth a small fortune.
No, I'm pretty sure he does not still have them, whatever they were.
Dang. Holy cow, yeah, collectible $2,599 on eBay. Shut the front door. That's crazy. 90s. No. Let's see. Was it Neopets?
So Cameron informed me that we will be changing setup again come next week.
Changing setup again. Oh my goodness. Does he have plans? Like, what's...
I don't know. We were going to discuss that later.
Nice.
But one of my things will be to move this thing off my table so I don't shake it when I'm trying to
when
crochet.
you're trying to crochet.
Because then I have to like hold my arms up
Yeah.
and get a nice arm workout so I don't shake the table.
Let's see.
So, Becca, you should tell everybody about your adventure of trying to get more yarn for your yarn project.
Oh my gosh. Well, I almost gave up. I was so frustrated. We went to Michael's, and because Dana looked online. And
Well, we
found
should
they
start from the
had-
beginning.
Oh, that I bought the wrong color?
No, that we went. So, okay, well, maybe I'll tell part of
Yeah,
the story.
you
and can
tell the part that you remember most vividly, and I'll tell the one that's fresh in my mind.
I think it was last week when you ran out of the yarn, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted to find. We were trying to see if we could find you the same color, but in the I Love This yarn yarn. And so we first went to Hobby Lobby. Could not find. Oh man, my notifications are still on my stupid phone.
Oh, it's good.
We could not find a color anywhere close to that green. And then you went to Walmart and couldn't find it. Now you can tell the rest of your story. That was all I was trying to say.
Well, so I did find it at Walmart, but I thought it was the right color, but it wasn't.
That's right.
Yeah, I got the wrong.
See? I
even
don't remember
Art
that right either.
Art was like, "Are you sure that's the right color?" I was like, "Yes, I know green. Like I know." That's what I get for being a butthole to my husband. He was like, "Are you sure that's the right one?" I was like, "Yes, Art, that's the right one." And then I get up this morning and I try to like go sit down and work on my scarf, and then I'm like, it's not the right color. So I had to humbly go
like
apologize.
One shade off.
Yeah, I had to
That's
humbly.
the hard part with yarn.
Yeah,
You can
one
think
shade.
You can find the right color, and then it's like
This one is definitely darker, whereas that one is a more like yellow green. Has a more yellow tone to it. It's definitely brighter. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but
oh yeah, you can totally see.
so this is the one that I needed. This is the one that I bought. So yeah, I was so confident that this was the one, but it wasn't. So I had to humbly go apologize to my husband for being a butthole. And
Marriage, folks.
yeah, that's marriage in a nutshell. Sorry, I was a butthole. But yeah, so I was like, dang it, I can't do that. So I was like, I guess I'll just run out really quick, to go get the right color. So Dana looks it up on her phone and is like, hey.
Yeah, the Michaels app says
This
it's
Michaels
in
has one.
stock.
So I drove out to the Michaels that said it had it, and it was close to a coffee bean because I wanted coffee bean today. And I went in the store. We waited in line for like 20 minutes to get into the Michaels. It probably wasn't 20 minutes, but it felt like 20 minutes because I was already like irritated for some reason. And so
Yeah, I wonder why.
I was trying to get it. We were trying to get in, and we waited. We finally got in, and I think this Michaels is going out of business or something because they had whole sections of the store just gutted and it was gone.
Makes me so sad.
And their yarn section was, for lack of better words, it was quite pathetic. It made me really sad because there was hardly anything there. there was only one aisle, which I'm like, who the heck only has one aisle for yarn? Like, that's...
Was it on sale? Because maybe I should go back and buy some before they go
some
out
of it was on sale. I think it was like $2.99. Some of it was like $2.99.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really, really sad and made my heart ache because anyway, I was trying to get in there and get my yarn and go. So they didn't have it, so we left, got in the car, and then Dana texted me. He was like, hey, did you check the drawers underneath? And I'm like, oh, I didn't. I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what? Those aren't my drawers. I'm not going to go through them. But since apparently people do that, I was like, well, shoot,
when
I'll go.
I'm desperate.
Yeah,
I'm
you look
looking
through
for a particular color.
Yeah, you do it.
My mom actually is the one. She's like, look there's more yarn under there. Just make sure it's
Yeah.
not in there.
It's like a Victoria's Secret where you're like, they don't have my size, and you just pull open the drawer, but it's for yarn instead of undies.
Exactly.
But anyway, long story short, I went in there again. We waited in line again to go back into the Michaels, and the lady was like, did you forget something? She there's somebody at the door now, like checking people in and telling people when and when they cannot go in. So she was like, did you forget something? I'm like, yeah. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
check your
I was like, I don't
drawers.
know. So we went in again. Art was like, it's okay, honey. We'll find it. And I'm like,
Oh,
no.
such a supportive
I know. He was
husband.
so nice. Like, it'll be okay. Like, we'll just go to the next one. And I'm like, we have to be back by 4. So we're trying to go live at 4. At this rate, we're not going to be back till 5. I was like, we still haven't got coffee. Maybe that was why I was so cranky, because I didn't have my
You
coffee
needed
yet.
some coffee.
Anyway, I did not have a good attitude. And so I was like, Lord, check me. I was like, Lord, check me. So we, anyway. We drove 20 minutes to another craft store, to a Joann's, and they had like an entire huge section, and it was a very pleasant experience. And we discovered that only the green red heart yarn feels like a sandpaper.
Mm-hmm.
All the other red heart yarn feels really nice except for the green. I don't know why. I wonder if it's like the dyeing process or something like that. I don't know, but anyway.
It's very weird.
Long story short, we'll just run to the store and grab this yarn really quick so we can get back, turned into a 2-hour escapade where I was like, this isn't even fun anymore. I don't even want to go to the yarn store. But it turned out pretty good.
Marissa says mismatch yarn dye lots can totally mess up color matching too. Yeah, thankfully with Red Heart though, there's no dye lots, so we don't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, no, thankfully but so he was so nice. I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, it's okay. It's like, I just want coffee. So we ended up just going and getting Starbucks.
So note to self, always go to Joann's. Don't go to Michael's.
Yeah, this Joann's has a really nice section too for...
That's where I bought all that
section.
beige yarn for the Baby Yoda cup cozies that I'm making.
Art really liked the branding for that particular type of yarn. He was like, this is actually really cute because it's called like cream and sugar or something like that.
Oh, that's something else.
Something else? Oh, okay, that is something else. Okay, so I lied to him. That is not what you use. But he really liked...
I mean, I have used that, but not for... I don't
for
use
your
those for the
cozies.
cup cozies. I use the
Gotcha.
Lion Brand Re-Up, which is like recyclable yarn.
Gotcha.
Which I think they're low-key going to discontinue that yarn because actually the last I checked, it still was not in stock.
Restock. Maybe it's not a common color.
No, it was a common color.
But it's the color we need.
They just don't like me.
Yeah.
Well, because I emailed Lion Brand. And I'm like, hey, when are you going to have this color back in stock? And they're like, I'm sorry, we can't answer that question right now. Why? Why?
Why can't you?
What the
Since
heck?
they're
Why
going
can't I
out of
remember
stock.
what Lion Brand's website is?
I don't know, because they're also wanting you to go...
They're like, wait, she's trying to look us up.
trying to find us. Hide, quick. But... yeah, it was not... We had an awkward... awkward deal. But it worked out in the end. I found my yarn and...
It makes a good yarn story for live streams.
It's
so
very true.
just know that your sacrifice was
Thank you.
not in vain.
Thank you. I figured it would be. Do it for the stream. We should research all of those like hacks though too, by the way. That'd be really funny to make a video of all these like crochet hacks.
I agree. That would be fun. Okay, why can't I...
And then record it and put it up on your YouTube.
Why can't I search? I don't understand.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah. How to wind yarn using household items.
Or even just how to like crochet with weird stuff. I guarantee you there's some like 5-minute crafts that's like some girl accidentally breaks her crochet hook and she uses like a paper clip and her shoelace to make a you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's something like that to make a new crochet hook so she could crochet. They're so stinking funny. I watch those for the laughs. Content mills are scary, man. Is it officially out of...
I can't find it on our website.
It's gone.
Usually they're supposed to let you know when it
is out of stock.
No, when it's discontinued.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah. They didn't this time, I guess.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, I kid you not. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Well, guys, that
Whip
means
Baby
whatever,
Yoda.
however many cup cozies I can make, that's all you're gonna get.
Now they have a novelty to them.
I guess so.
One of a kind. Or you just have to change the colors.
Or use a different
brand, probably. Do they make other brands for the type of yarn that you like, or no?
They do. Nothing quite that color, though. Here we go. Here's a link to it. Yeah, the color's still not here. I'm gonna have to email them again and be like, dude, what's going on with this color? Are you guys discontinuing it?
Yeah. I have a product that I make with this.
I have people who rely on this color.
Don't make me have my people call your people.
Oh, yeah, that stresses me out, dude.
Yeah. Not a lot of people were buying Baby Yoda green, I guess. Or, excuse me, the child green.
Or I'm trying to think of how old that yarn is. Usually every couple years they like rebrand a certain type of yarn. You can use almost anything for makeshift hooks and knitting needles. I've used pencils in a pinch as well as curved dental picks. That's what Marissa said. Sanitized, of course.
I see you. That's pretty
curved
cool.
dental picks?
Dental picks.
For crochet, I'm guessing.
Not for picking your teeth.
Maybe make a new color palette. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I mean, my grandma's friend found 9 skeins of this green in a Joann's by her house. So I have a bunch, and I haven't like sold out of all of my cozies yet. So I still have plenty to make, but it's like once it's gone, it's gonna be gone. I was desperate. Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I've done worse things in a time of desperation, so I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, but
that is funny.
It's true. I think we all have.
So, in other news, my husband had me open one of my Christmas presents early, and I got an Apple Watch.
Ooh.
So I am officially an Apple family.
Look at you.
Where we literally have Apple everything. Apple TV. I'm using a Mac computer right now. I have a Mac laptop.
Hey man, if it works.
Apple Pencil. iPad. I am not sponsored by Apple.
Nope.
If only.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they work, you know.
They do. I actually, for a while, I was against the whole Mac. The Mac, what do you call it? Hardware.
Yeah.
Like, I really did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cameron's like, here, I have this laptop that you can figure out how to use. And I'm like, all right. And now I only like...
Yeah. You love using it.
I love using it.
Yeah. Yep. They're
very nice. Fancy. I look so cool now.
Let's see here. They work. Because they work, you know. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
I know, I just
18.
had to count. I'm like, wait, I need to stop count.
Excuse me.
Ready for my next color. I really am actually really loving this scarf.
Yeah, the colors are really nice.
This yarn is so nice. I need to message Jessica and be like, so is there like a referral link I can sign up for? Because I talk about your yarn all the time.
Do you have a sponsorship program? Yeah.
I think she does, but I think right now it's just for like people who design with her yarn. So I don't know if I have to like become a designer.
Yeah. Or
to
yeah.
do it, or if because I do promote it a lot, maybe I can qualify
a referral link would
I'll have
probably
to
be cool.
ask her.
Yeah.
What that entails.
Yeah. Especially since you do promote it a lot.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And
at least
one of my
have like a
favorite
special
yarns.
code, and then she can see how much revenue you do bring in.
If my job is even doing anything.
Yeah. If people are like buying your yarn or buying her yarn because you suggested it, you know. What I mean?
That would be really cool.
It's true. That's how I get a lot of my product is by word of mouth. Like, hey, what do you think works? You know, what do you like? How does it work good? Do you enjoy it? You're pretty much like the yarn guru. So if you told me like, hey, use this one exclusively because this is the only yarn that would work, I'd be like, alright. Sounds good to me.
It is very fancy. It is a little on the expensive side though compared to like
Next color.
Red Heart or like even the loops and threads in Impeccable. Like these skeins are smaller. So that's the only bummer. But like so if I was gonna make something for like something really nice for somebody, I would probably use this yarn.
Yeah.
Or use it for designing. I'm thinking about I really want to get back to working on my blog and especially now that I have tutorial videos. I always wanted to do like a crochet basics section on my blog where people can learn how to crochet by like reading or pictures, and then if they want to have the video option, I can link the video on there too. And so now that I have videos, I can actually do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I always wanted to design like a project. Be like, now that you've learned this stitch, let's work on this project.
Yeah.
I already got my first one done.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, Marissa says, do it.
Do it.
I know, now I have to actually do it. It always sounds good when you talk about it.
That's true. I can help you with that stuff too. I really like blogs and blog writing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I have Squarespace, and I pretty much have my website built. I have to finish building my land page for the blog part of my website.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pretty much could make my website live, which I need to because my website's on all my business cards, and now people are gonna go to it and be like, where's her website?
Yeah.
It's nowhere.
Yeah. Like it doesn't exist. The limit does not exist.
Also, if I write a pattern, would you be okay if I linked your videos? They are really good quality. Yep, go for it. And let me know when you write it. I'll test it for you, and we'll co-promote each other. Sounds good.
Teamwork.
Do it.
It's true. That's what I was watching. My favorite Twitch streamer, Donut King, last night, who happens to just be a man in the back of his donut shop. Technically, it's not his, but he just makes donuts all day and he streams it.
Oh,
it's
that's
the
right.
most beautiful thing. It's so sweet and it's so relaxing and it's just the most wholesome content. But he was talking about how it's important to have people who are not just your friends, but people that you trust to help promote each other and to help each other grow in different areas. So if you have similar interests like crocheting and you find other people on, Twitch or on Facebook or just friends on Instagram or whatever who do the same thing, work together to share the load and share the love and get the word out, kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually a really good point. That it helps make it's good exposure,
Yeah.
But not only that, but it's fun that you can do it with people that you trust and like friends that you have, and it's like a camaraderie thing where you're kind of starting like this little tiny business, but it's more than a business, it's like a community, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
Which is super cool. Which is really, really cool. I'm like, shoot, maybe I should hop on the Art really wants to get me an iPad. So I'm like, well, I'm not a very good artist, but at the same time...
Yeah, honestly, I would contribute to that if he asked. I know
Oh.
he wouldn't ask, but I would.
I know he would.
I'd be like, can I help you with that? Because I 100% agree. I think you need an iPad, and I think you need an Apple Pencil, and I think you should...
I really want to
try to dedicate more time to it because you are really, really talented.
Thank you. I really enjoy doing it too, and that would be something that I could stream too, is making those kind of things, you know. There needs to be more art and things on Twitch. There's a lot of video gamers. We need more artists. I think it's more interesting to watch. Like
honestly, I could see Laura doing something like that.
Me too. She understands color better than any human I think should. Like how she colors and how, not even like her drawings, like just her color alone is incredible.
Yeah.
Her blending, just the comprehension. I'm like, I didn't even know that many colors was in that. Like, you know what I mean? Where you look at something and you see like a sunset, for example, you're like, oh, that's a sunset. But like, you don't realize how many variable colors are in it and how much like texture and like, it's just how the light affects it, and it's amazing.
I agree.
And I really love that, and I think she should absolutely do something like that. But art streams are just so much fun to watch. I've been loving watching Doodle Date Adam, his stream. He just does different drawings that he does, and it's so much fun to watch the process of how people like work through drawing something. And it's fun to see the good days and the bad days. Like, I'm sure that you have days like that with crochet where you're like, why can't I create anything that looks nice? You know?
I have a lot of second guessing time where like I'll start doing something and I'm like, is this really how I want it to look?
Yeah.
Should I really commit to this? Oh, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Like,
when you finish a project, do you ever look at it and you're just like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life?
No, because if it starts looking like that, I won't finish it.
Yeah. Well, even like when you finish it, like if you get it done and you look at it, like have there ever been projects that you're like, I could have done better? You know? Or is it a little different? I feel like with
Me,
like
personally, I don't know.
No.
You know, actually that's not true. Like when I was making those hats, I started like, especially after I listed them for like sale, I'm like, I started to guess myself, I'm like, should I even be making them this way? Should I try to make them smaller so they fit better? Like, I would like second guess, like, what happens if this hat doesn't fit? What happens if this hat's too big? Like, it still kind of stresses me out, honestly. Yeah. It's like, can I do better? Can I make it better?
Yeah. I don't know if any, Marissa, do you ever feel like that when you finish something? Or like if there's any other medium of art that you do that you finish it and you're just like, I'm the worst thing. Why does this suck? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like the artist's curse where like nothing is ever going to be good enough. So you just have to like suck it up and get over yourself and just post it anyway. Or just do it anyway, you know? Because that's like, I don't know if that's just like the artist's curse or what.
Every single time, she said.
Oh, see? Okay, cool. Like, I don't feel as crazy now.
We are all in good company.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's how I felt about embroidering that doll's face on. Like, I did the second. So the first because I watched the tutorial video, because she has like a walkthrough video where she shows you how to do it. And so I followed her doing one, because she walked through the whole of one eye, and then she did the second eye off camera. Well, because she did the second eye off camera, I like had to redo my eye 3 times because it looked wonky, and I'm like
I'm doing it wrong.
But it actually still didn't turn out too bad.
No, it looks really cute. You did a really great job. But yeah, that's just the artist's curse, man. Like that banner, I want to redo that banner like so badly because all I see is like, you know, like.
It's so silly.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it really doesn't. But I'm like, my brain is like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, everything can always be improved. Yeah, and maybe that's like true. A human nature thing.
Yeah.
Where we're not perfect. So
yeah.
nothing is ever going to be to our satisfaction.
You're probably right, because whoo, boy, is it stressful.
Marissa says, especially garments and hats for me. If it doesn't look as good as I originally envisioned, it's super discouraging at times.
Yeah.
Then I put down for a while and re-pick it back up. Yep, same thing. I have this blanket that I designed that I thought, like, I made a small little swatch and I thought looked really cool, and it's still sitting in a bag somewhere. Because then as I kept going, I started second guessing myself. That's why I said a lot of the times I don't finish the project.
Yeah, if you start second guessing it.
If I don't like it, I'm not going to waste any more time on it.
Yeah, that's 100%. I feel that way sometimes about writing too. Like when I'll sit there and I'm like working on a, like anything. If I'm trying to like sit down and like mash out a chapter, or if I'm trying to like, just get the short story written, I'm like, it's not how I pictured it. Like it always ends up to where I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. Why does it look like this? Why is it like this? Or I'll get like so overwhelmed in the editing process where I won't even write anything new. I'll just sit there and I'll edit and I'll edit and I'll edit and I'll edit until I don't even recognize the monster that I've created anymore. Like I'm like, who are you? My little Quasimodo. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's just an artist thing where you're like just not happy with how it looks. I don't know.
It definitely is. I think every artist has that struggle.
I don't know how anybody finishes books. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Crazy discipline. It really does take the discipline of like telling yourself every time you sit down that you're not going to read what you just wrote. You're just going to keep going. Because like I always want to sit down and like reread and refresh and like see where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what did I leave off? But instead of doing that, it's like you just have to start writing instead of sitting there and being like, oh, I hate how that sentence is worded. I need to rewrite that. Instead of doing that, you just need to like literally don't even worry about it. Just start writing what's in your brain for that day and then go from there.
I wonder if it depends on the personality. Maybe you do have like a perfectionist personality when it comes to your writing, because if I think back to when I went through my writing phase in high school, I mean, I wrote 20 chapters of a book. And I kind of just wrote as much as I could, and then when I couldn't write anymore, then I'd go back and kind of edit. But I wasn't like so I wasn't so focused on it being perfect, because first of all, I didn't really know what perfect meant for writing a book, because I'd never done it before, or I'm not familiar with like editing writing. So, but maybe it's also because you are very familiar with how grammar should be and how like, in a sense, professionally how it should sound, that you want it to be like, it
flawless.
Needs to be like this. Yeah,
maybe that's the case. I don't know. It's not healthy, I'll tell you that much.
It doesn't help your problem, but
it's dangerous.
They say the first thing you do when you have a problem is to admit you have a problem.
That is very true. I have a big problem. My problem is I can't get past chapter 4.
Oh no. That's not very far at all.
No, it's not. Because I keep getting frustrated. I'm like, oh, I hate I hate the perspective. Why did I write this in first person? I'm going to rewrite all of it and put it in third. And then I rewrite it all in third. And I'm like, oh, this sucks too. Put it back in first.
That's why you should have kept the first person version.
I learned that after the second time I did it. I have 2 versions.
Okay.
The first and the third.
Good job for learning from your mistake.
It's not healthy.
Well, hey, if you ever get it to an editor and they're like, you know what you should do is write it this... I already got it, yeah. Let me send you that version.
I have 2 versions, the first and the third. I will never write a second. Second perspective is incredible, but boy, is it hard.
Remind me what second perspective is.
So second perspective is like you are a person, like you are, how do you explain it? Like, so first person is you're reading the story as accounted from, like you're following one perspective. So like the person that's actively, that you're following in the story is whose brain you're following.
So only them.
Only them. That's the only perspective you see. Third person is an omniscient narration where
That
you
sees
see
multiple.
all angles, different things. It's written as in like she. So I guess it would be I, they, and she. So like, or he. So it's like he opened the door and looked around the corner if it would be in third person. First person would be I reach for the handle and I open the door.
You are the person.
Whereas like if it's second person, it's they. So like they reached for the thing and like opened the door. Does that kind of make sense? Like
I guess, but like
it's
so
a weird.
It's weird for me because they like
It's not a common writing style.
they to me means more than one person.
Mm-hmm. It's essentially a person sitting there telling someone else's story. So it's a second account, kind of. Like that's why I like World War Z so much, is because it's a beautiful
See, maybe I
explanation.
need to read it. Maybe I've not read a second person.
There's
book.
not very many. There's really not. It's very rare to have a second story perspective, at least from what I've read. Usually first and third are the most common. Whereas second is, that's why I really enjoyed it so much, was it was essentially the author was playing a character interviewing his characters. Which is a very interesting perspective for a book of like, he's interviewing each of his characters' perspectives of what happened during like the Great Zombie War. It's a really incredibly written book. I love it.
Yeah, I'll have to read it. My mom bought me that book, so I have it.
Oh, she did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great book. I really like Max Brooks.
I think it was on one of my Amazon lists because I think you had recommended it to me or something.
It's a great book. Max Brooks, who is the son of Mel Brooks. Two completely different people. I'll just say that. Like, completely different, but equally incredible story writers and storytellers. Max Brooks has a really unique perspective.
So how is he related to Mel Brooks?
Mel Brooks is his dad.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's one of two sons that Mel Brooks has.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Mel Brooks is obviously a master of comedy.
Right.
Whereas, like, and Max Brooks did kind of dabble a little bit in comedy because he wrote the Zombie Survival Guide, which he wrote as, like, kind of a companion for World War Z. Yeah, where you can learn how to, like, survive a zombie apocalypse. It's really funny. But it's funny because it's so serious.
Marissa says, what about mixing it up, writing it from multiple perspectives at different times to give a more rounded point of view?
Different perspectives at different times. Interesting. Some people do that. They do write from multiple perspectives. I could do that with a couple of the stories that I'm writing. I don't think it would work.
She's working on more than one
with the
because
one.
She doesn't know how to work on one project.
I don't.
It's okay. I have 10 work in progress projects, so
it's
I can't
bad.
judge you.
No, it's bad. Well, it's like once you have the idea, like you have to get it down on paper before you just lose it.
Yep.
And if you lose it, that's that, you know. But and they're all over the place. There's not like a specific genre that I've discovered that I like to write. I like to write in all of them. I like thought-provoking and fun. That's my those are my two areas. But yeah, and there's some things that I really enjoy writing. It depends on the genre. Like if it's like a thriller, kind of like intense story, I like it from the first person because I like the tension of only being able to see from one person's perspective. You know, does that kind of make sense? Like, instead of having an omniscient, like, third person perspective where the writer can tell that there's a monster hiding behind the tree, as opposed, or like the reader can tell, whereas like from first person, you don't know until the character you're following knows.
Yeah.
I think is really interesting. But I don't know how this turned into the writing.
Hey, it's still on brand. 'Cause that is,
true.
you know,
Being
in a
creative.
way, it's a creativity.
It's true.
I mean, writing is technically a craft, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely would be interested in reading your work, Marissa says.
Thanks. If it ever gets done.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to be able to do
I
it too. So.
I had a goal that I was going to finish my first book by the end of this year. That has not happened. It has not happened at all. So,
Well, I had a lot of goals for this year too.
No.
I think a lot of people had a lot of goals for this
Yeah.
year too.
I had goals.
It's a creativity live stream. Yes.
It's true.
We are letting the creative juices flow.
I saw a live stream the other day of this girl just working on her homework, and I was like, I hate this. Like, and she had like 1,000 views. I was like,
Yeah, that's insane.
What?
Like, I don't understand.
it was just this cute little girl just sitting there doing her homework, sipping her Starbucks, and I'm like, I hate this. I'm so angry right now. Well, I was sitting there doing my work, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna contribute.
Maybe we have annoying voices, and that's why nobody hangs out with us.
Maybe. I know. Maybe my laugh is like really obnoxious. Oh,
That's
I don't know.
okay.
She's probably just been doing it for a lot longer. Same thing like with the Donut King, Donut Lord. He's like, hey.
Yeah, that's true.
Just gotta
I
do
mean,
it.
I guess I'm still relatively new.
Consistency. Yeah.
We've been consistently doing it since
Yeah.
the beginning of November.
Mhm. It's true. And, you know, there's not growth overnight. You just kind of got to be patient.
Hate that word.
I know. I'm sorry.
The Lord's like, there's that word again.
Patience and a little bit of luck. That was what Donut King was saying last night. That he would not have gotten where he was if he hadn't had this one random streamer, like one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, raid his stream and brought 25,000 viewers to his channel. He was just sitting on 12, and then he looked up and he had 25,000 viewers, and he's like, what the heck just happened? He's like, and I suddenly realized that my life had changed very drastically because almost half of those people followed him. Like,
That's crazy.
people were like, oh, this is a really cool stream. You're just watching him make donuts. And it
That's probably where I got quite a few of my followers is
Mm-hmm.
when that small raid happened.
Yeah, that was that really was kind of a changing moment where.
And we had like more than one person commenting, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a really fun night with a lot of people. And, you know, that's not something that you, like, rely on. But luck, you know, kind of does come into it, you know. Just the right time, right day, you know.
Even if it's just to give you a little bit of hope.
It's true. But, Marissa, if whatever this book is going to be called, okay, you're right. I like that optimism. When this book ever comes into fruition, I will need beta readers and I will email it to you. You will be one of my first who reads it and tells me what to do about it. I will add you to my list.
What is happening?
Because
I
I need...
achieved my stand goal, but I wasn't even standing.
But you're sitting!
How is that even
That's
possible?
weird. Maybe it's the hand motion.
It's the crochet. It thinks I'm
Yeah,
standing.
like you're...
I'm
it's like
confusing
you're
my
moving
Apple
around.
Watch. Marissa says, "Yay!
Yay!" That was
Yay
honestly
for your reading.
having feedback was like the first thing that actually really helped a lot. Was I sent it to Callie and I was like, "Hey Callie, I'm really serious about this. Will you help me and tell me, like, here's the first chapter. Will you tell me what you think?" And she's like, "Okay." So she read
Callie
it.
would be one of the people I'd ask. For
She
sure.
read it and she destroyed it.
Oh no!
And I was so, at first I was like, like clutching my pearls. Like, I thought you said you loved me. And then I realized that she did love me and my writing was just crap. And she was like, hey, so I hate your main character. And I was like, okay, why? She's like, well, and here's why. So she gave me this long list of things. And she's like, I just don't want to root for her. She's like, you want to follow characters that you want to root for. And I don't.
Callie like has a particular taste.
She does. She has a
sure.
very particular taste. And she was right. Like, when I sat back and looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, she is unbearable, isn't she? Like, I don't like her at all. Now that, like, and it wasn't just like, I was trying to give the perspective of like growth. I was like, I love watching characters grow.
Yeah.
And I love watching them grow reasonably. Not like dumb love triangle growth where they learn to like love themselves. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I love watching growth. Growth in stories is so detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to go for that. And she's like, dude, if you're going for growth, that's cool. She's like, but give her some things that you want to root for. And right now, I do not want to root for her. I don't even know why, like, she's like, I don't even really care, like, what I have to root for her through. She's like, I just don't really like her very much. So I was like, that's actually very good advice. Thank you so much.
Huh.
And so I was able to take that and, like, add some things and change some things to make her more likable, to make her more bearable, and to give her more, you know, perspective and more. And it actually really helped shape the way that, like, the story is going to be told, because it really changed a lot. And I honestly, I have nothing but gratitude for Kelly's brutal honesty, because,
right,
you know, I wouldn't have thought about that. Like, because obviously I love it because I wrote it. You know, like, you love your work because you're the one that wrote it. You're already biased towards what you're working on and what you like. And so it's really important to have a outside perspective to be like, hey, you know, not to be a jerk, but
this kind of sucks.
This really isn't great. She's like, you have really good premise. Like, I think what you're working with. She's like, I like the idea. I love kind of the stories that, you know, you said are kind of inspiration for what you're going for. She's like, but I just don't. She's like, I don't
like your character,
like the person that I'm following. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. So I was able to take that and, you know, give her some redeeming qualities that make her a little bit more bearable. Because, you know, it's true. You do want to root for the people that you're following and the people that you're reading about and the stories that are being told. Even in movies, there's some characters that I just cannot stand. Like, what was that one Patrick Dempsey movie? Maid of Honor or something like that? Where he's like trying to convince his best friend to not get married, but he's just a total jerk throughout the whole thing. I'm like,
so it's literally a different version of My Best Friend's Wedding?
Pretty much, yeah. The point is, like, he is her maid of honor because he's like her best friend and stuff like that, and he has to convince her to not marry this like gorgeous, beautifully wonderful, nice Scottish man who just like wants to give her the world, and he's jealous because he's always been in love with her. And
yeah, that exactly sounds like My Best Friend's Wedding.
It's pretty much the same thing, and he does not deserve her. At the end of that movie, I was like, why did they even get together?
Oh,
like,
but they end up together.
Yeah, they do. I was like, I hate this. I was like, and you're following him and you're supposed to like want him to get with her. And I'm like, I want him to fall off that bridge, like into the lake and freeze. Like,
so funny.
I don't like him. But anyway, that's my rant. Like your characters. Make them likable.
I know, right?
No.
Well, yeah, because if you don't like the main character, you're not going to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I was trying to think. There was a book I read where I did not like the main character, and I can't think of what it was.
Was it The Crown?
Was it The Crown? You know,
or The Heir?
So funny. Like, at first I was like, I'm trying to, so part of me thinks maybe I wouldn't have liked her. If you didn't tell me you didn't like her because of certain things, or I wonder if it wouldn't have bothered me as much if you didn't point it out. But yeah, I definitely had a lot of the same opinions as you, where it's like, how did this get created from two beautiful souls?
Yeah, two wonderful people, two wonderful characters that you rooted for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know,
but
she definitely had her redemption, that's for sure. But it took like a whole book. I was like, good night.
That's so funny. I just remember our first book club month, and we read, you know, now I can't think of what the stupid title is, but that cheesy...
Oh, Mismatch.
Yeah, Mismatch. And Callie's like,
brutal.
I do not like this character.
Yeah.
Do not like how immature she is. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody who doesn't like cheesy rom-com.
Yeah. No, that's not But
But I appreciated like
the
the honesty in a different perspective. She definitely made some good points. Where reading it as an adult now and being more founded in my Christian faith, where I'm like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And she's supposed to be this like, she was like 25 or 26 in the book, which is so funny because I talked to Shawneen about it later. And I'm like, yeah, what were we thinking that we thought this was okay for a 26-year-old to act this way?
Yeah. Did she agree? Did she think the same thing?
Well, some of the things that I pointed out that I realized I didn't like, I don't know if it was exactly what Callie pointed out, but like I started to analyze like Lauren more carefully after Callie expressed her opinion, and then I think what really bothered me, and if anybody has not read The Mismatch and wants to read it, spoilers, okay?
Spoiler alert.
Where like her being completely oblivious to like Ryan being in like legitimately love with her. Yeah. I'm like, I was talking to Shawnee, I'm like, is she seriously that dumb?
Yeah, that daft that she thinks.
Like, it was bothersome. Like actually, so I'm on the 3rd book, which at some point I'll probably finish reading. You get like really mad at them in the 3rd. Well, her specifically. Because like she does some things where she like kind of makes Ryan jealous, but she doesn't see it. Like she doesn't understand like why would he be jealous? Yeah. And then the whole, let's pretend to be dating, but then they like kind of keep dating even though they're supposed to be pretend dating. It's very weird. I mean, the ending still ends up being good, but yeah. And then she wrote 2 more books, which I was like, what the heck? What else are you gonna write about? So that's why I kind of want to finish reading it, just to see where she goes with the next 2 books. Yeah. But yeah, they're fun, lighthearted. Yeah, super easy. Like going from easy that read. To what did we read next? We read the Throne of Glass, and that book was long. Yeah. Like long, it was intense. There's so much like cutting and knives and like dude, and like a ton of names you had to remember. But that book was good too. Like that's the only hard part I've come to realize that I did not like about a book club is like, because we started like 4 different series, like because we read the first book. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't have time to like go read the rest of these books while we're also reading books together. I don't know, speaking of book club, I might have to like put it to bed for a couple months because I have not been giving it as much attention as I'd like. I know. And every time I try, I fail, and I need to stop failing and just be like, look, if somebody else wants to take over, you're more than welcome, but like I can't. I have too much on my plate right now. Yeah. So it's hard. It's a hard season. But I would really love to, like, if I did revisit it, I would love to, like, read the first book, but then like, vote. Be like, okay, is this good enough for us to, like, continue the series since we all read the first book together? Or if it's not, then we can read something else. Yeah. Because, like, the Throne of Glass has, like, 5 books. Yeah. The Mismatch series is 5 books. And then what was another one we read that I wanted to read the series? Trying to think of what else we read. Miss Peregrine's is like a series. Miss Peregrine's, like I've only read the first one. I wanted to read the next ones. I know he actually came out with another book, and so like Jamie's like, oh, he's coming out with another book. I'm like, I know, I still have not got past the first book. Like I've read the first one, but I never read like the second one. What else have we read? Like I can't even think of what else we read. We read. Oh, and then the Out of the Silent Planet. There's 2 more books in that series too. So I'm like, I'm getting overwhelmed with all these series I want to read. Yeah. So. But everybody kept voting for books that were series. Yeah, maybe it's a nice way to like sample, like see if you're actually if you're actually gonna enjoy it, and then for people who are avid readers who can read more than 1 book a month. Yeah, I can't do it. Like, because I would have to read our current book of the month and then read, like, my own pleasure book, which sometimes that like depending on what it is, I can do that, and other times I'm like, no, I really need to focus on this one book.
Yeah.
Like I need to give my full attention to this book. So I don't know.
Yeah. Just depends
I'll
on
have to rethink the whole book club thing. Like I would love to pick it back up at some point,
Yeah.
but right now it's just
Right now's not the time.
just have too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Too many hobbies.
And like I wouldn't feel so bad about taking a break if people were more involved.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people involved anymore, so it's like I don't think anybody will miss it.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
Well, not necessarily that, but I think we're all kind of on the same page with it. Like, you know, reading is fun, and obviously we all love to read, you know, but when it comes down to it, it's like, how much time do you have to devote, you know what I mean? Like, with everything else that you do. My problem is I have too many hobbies and too many things that I like to do, so I'm like, well, poop. Like, where do I find time for all of these things?
Yeah, and I don't have I mean, I guess I do have my library app. Like, I don't have like an Audible subscription. Like, if I had an Audible subscription, I could do all the time. And then like, that's why I would really love some Bluetooth headphones, because then I can, with my new Kindle, I can listen to Audible books on my Kindle, and it'll, like, if I wanted to switch and actually read it, it would go from where I left off in Audible to my Kindle book.
Yeah. That's super nice.
But I have to listen to it on my Kindle.
Yeah.
And there's no headphone jack. It's all through Bluetooth. Because, you know, they're going away from the auxiliary
it's all Bluetooth
ports.
now. I really like audiobooks, and I've actually been really, really loving our like audiobook time, like that Art and I get to spend together when we drive, just listening to books. He's discovering how much fun books are, and it's so much fun to see, like, just how much he actually does enjoy reading. He loved reading when he was a kid, but as an adult, he's like, well, I don't have time. And I'm like, well, we have an hour drive. Tell me you don't have time. Like, you know? So you just slap it up on the radio, and it's so nice. Like, I read books when I was working by myself in the warehouse, just building that whole escape room. You know, like, I had so much time to listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, I would
books
even
that I would
read
never
to
read.
Cameron when we drive, because I love to read, and he would just love to listen, so I would read whatever book we were trying to read together.
Yeah.
I would read it to him while we drive, or in bed.
Audiobooks are nice. You have an opportunity to read books that you normally wouldn't read. Like, I normally wouldn't have read it, because it is a huge book. Like, a huge book. Like, it's intimidatingly large.
It's crazy. That's one of the very few books my dad has ever read.
Oh, really? That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's a big book, and it's actually quite hard to follow sometimes, because you jump back and forth so much between the past and the present that it's kind of hard to, and even in like the past, they go even further in the past.
Right.
So like there's all these time jumps that you have to pay attention to, that by the time you realize, like, when they go back to the present, you forget what the heck they were even talking about. So I'm like, oh, what? So I was really glad that I listened to it in audio, because that made it a lot easier. Let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I am whizzing through this today. I got 2 things done.
That is awesome. So proud of you.
Finally, I can crochet fast. I'm just kidding. That's not what we do.
Marissa, are you reading anything? Do you like to read? I don't remember if you do or not.
Are you read?
Ouch. Are you read? Are you bookworm? Do you listen to audiobooks? Do you listen to anything while you knit or crochet? Or watch TV?
Does Marissa is read?
Yeah, we've been enjoying listening to our book, which we haven't done in a while. We're listening to those Andrew Clavin books that he wrote.
Oh, yeah.
The Another Kingdom series, which I need to ask Cameron if we know when the 3rd book comes out. So we're on the 2nd book, and I think he's still in the process, or he's finished writing it but hasn't come out yet. So I'm like, I'm gonna be really upset that we're gonna have to wait a year to find out what happens next once we finish this book. So I'm like kind of glad we're slowly listening to it, but I'm also like, dang, I want to know what happens.
Yeah. I just found out the other day that Ernest Cline wrote a sequel to Ready Player One. Like literally the other day. I was looking up Ready Player One and it was like Ready Player 2 comes out in November. And I'm like, what? There's a second book coming out?
I still want to read the prequel for Hunger Games and
oh yeah, I heard that was
still
actually a
read Midnight
phenomenal
Sun,
book.
and I haven't read that.
Yeah, I heard that the prequel to the Hunger Games was actually like a phenomenal
A lot
book.
of people I know read it, and said it was really good.
Which a lot of people were really skeptical because they're like, so you're telling us that you want us to read a book about this bad guy that we know is like a terrible, terrible person? Like, and you want us to sympathize for his past? I don't think so. Go with Marissa.
She said, I love reading, but I'm not currently reading anything specific, but I am definitely up for suggestions. I like lots of genres, but the last one I read was Elantris.
Elantris?
What is that?
What is that?
Uh-oh.
What is that?
Uh-oh. Hey, why are you up here? My son snuck upstairs. Where's your father? He's down the stairs doing what? Look at, there's a cord right there. You can't walk any farther. Okay, I need you to go back downstairs.
Mommy,
Yes, baby.
I just want to
No, what are you doing? Baby, you're not going to be able to come back here. So what is it that you need, my bubba?
I want to hold you.
I know, I can't.
Aw.
Listen, so I'm almost done up here. I'm almost done up here, and then I can hold you, okay? Okay? Say okay, Mom. Now please go back downstairs. I love you.
He snuck up here. He's like, don't take me. Like that one time he followed me up here when I was going to the bathroom. Mama said you're not supposed to lock the door. Well, I can because you don't want to see me poop. I'm an adult.
Okay, Elantris. She says it's a fantasy novel that my hubby found.
Ooh.
I think it's by Brandon Sanderson. Here, let's look it up.
20.
Elantris.
Oh my gosh, I did another one. Off to the next one. We are off to the races on this, my friends.
Ooh, a novel by Brandon Sanderson.
Checks out.
Let's see. Goodreads. It's a good read and not super long, which is really nice. See, I love short reads. Okay, so it says, according to Goodreads, it's Elantris was the capital of Erelon. Gigantic, beautiful, literally radiant, filled with benevolent beings who use their powerful magical abilities for the benefit of all. Yet each of these demigods was once an ordinary person until touched by the mysterious transforming power of the Sheod. 10 years ago, without warning, the magic failed. Elantrians became wizened, leper-like, powerless creatures, and Elantris itself dark, filthy, and crumbling. Erelon's new capital, K, crouches in the shadow of Elantris. Princess Serene of Teod arrives for a marriage of state with Crown Prince Rodin, or Raodin, I don't know how to pronounce that name, hoping, based on their correspondence, to also find love. She finds instead that Raodin has died and she is considered his widow. Both Teod and Erelon are under threat as the last remaining holdouts against the imperial ambitions of the ruthless religious fanatics of Shordell. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to say any of these words. So Serene decides to use her new status to counter the machinations. Oh my gosh. It looks like machinations.
Huh.
Machinations of Rathan, a Jordel high priest who has come to K to convert Erelin and claim it for his emperor and his god. But neither Serene nor Hrathith Rathin suspect the truth about Prince Raoden. Stricken by the same curse that ruined Elantris, Raoden was secretly exiled by his father to the Dark City. Ooh. His struggle to help the wretches trapped there begins a series of events that will bring hope to Erelon and perhaps reveal the secret of Elantris itself. A rare epic fantasy that doesn't recycle the classics, and that is a complete and satisfying story in one volume. Elantris is fleet and fun, full of surprises and characters to care about. It's also the wonderful debut of a welcome new star in the constellation of fantasy.
What's the author's name again?
Brandon Sanderson.
I feel like, you know what? I feel like I have heard of this person.
One of the recommended reads is the Wheel of Time series, which Hannah's read that series.
Brandon Sanderson, he has a lecture that he gives. I was actually watching. He used to teach, actually recently, he gave a creative writing class at BYU.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And the cool part is he believes that every single person who wants to write should have the resources to learn how to do so. So he put up that entire class on YouTube for free for people to watch. So I was watching it the other day. He was the one I was telling you about that he loves telling people at parties that he's a writer, and he thought it was the best thing ever when he finally had a book on the New York Times bestsellers list. When somebody at a party was like, "Oh, you're a writer. Oh, so you're unemployed?" And he finally got to be like, "Actually, I'm on the New York Times bestsellers list." Ha! So I was like, that's what everyone wants to. That's everyone's dream.
Sorry, forgot about the exotic names. That's okay. I suffered through it. Author is getting more popular the past couple years, and he is a Mormon, so the content is pretty clean.
Yeah, that was another really interesting part about his lecture was he was talking about writing not just writing substance, not things that are kind of like book clickbait, where you want to read a book because it's got weird stuff in it, or you know what I mean, or because it's, write the stories that you want to tell, and if it gets popular, cool. If not, oh well, there's somebody in the world that thinks that is the best book on the planet.
That's so true.
He's like, don't write what stories you think people want to read that's full of stuff that are against your convictions. So I was like, that's
such a good advice.
Yeah, I was like, that's a really good thing to give at BYU.
People love to give up their values and morals just to get ahead, which is really sad.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I love it when the rare actors out there, when they're married, they're like, no, I'm not gonna do this inappropriate.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna play this inappropriate character because I respect my spouse. I just don't understand. Well, now I understand why nobody stays married in Hollywood, because everybody's sleeping with everybody on screen because it's just acting.
Yeah, but it's easy to blur reality. But yeah, that's what I think it was. Chris Hemsworth, that he didn't kiss he never kissed Natalie Portman in the Thor movies. That was his wife that was a stand-in, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, that's kind of...
Yeah, they got his wife as a stand-in. They just put a wig on her and put her in the costume, and he would kiss his wife. I was like, that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
That he never kissed Natalie Portman.
I wonder if Natalie Portman respected that, as in appreciated his value of his
I hope so.
of his marriage. I would if I was her.
Yeah, that you don't
wow, you must really love your wife. That you would do anything to not ruin your relationship with her. So
yeah, obviously I can't really say that for any of his other movies, but I mean, for the most part, although now that I think about it, I haven't seen Chris Hemsworth kiss anybody in any movie that I've seen him in.
Well, good for him.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, now that I think about it,
for a long time.
I hope so. I root for that marriage.
Oh, boy.
We're talking about it.
My phone is
Ruh-roh.
blown up. Exactly. Plus, nothing ruins a book more for me than when they put zingers in their content. Like, I don't want to have that picture in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think I'm going to have to go to bed. Thanks so much for chatting and hosting the live. Well, thanks for finally getting to join us, Marissa. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. We enjoyed catching up with you, hanging out, chatting. So you go get some sleep. I know it's 10:30 there,
late.
so have a good night. We're probably going to wrap up too. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm not anywhere near done with this scarf, but that's okay.
You can finish it off screen.
Exactly. I did want to show 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, which I might just do that now. Okay, so I'm not completely done with my scarf, but I wanted to show you guys some ways you could end your scarf. So I'm just trying to figure out how to lay this. So you could potentially leave your scarf like this and then just wear it like this. Oh, you're on Eastern time, so it's 11:30. Okay, well then definitely get to bed.
Good night, friend.
But thanks again for joining us. So, but what you could do, which if it's long enough, which actually what did I do with my, what did I do with the sample?
Your sample is on the back table. Would you like me to get it for you?
Yes.
Okay, you grab it.
That would be helpful. There's a couple different ways you can end your scarf. You could leave it like it is when it's finished, because mine's not finished. You could sew the ends together, where you could sew these two ends together and it would make this big loop. And you basically could turn it into
An infinity star.
an infinity scarf.
Oh, that's cute. So cool. Pose.
The other thing you could do is also add tassels to the bottom. Or fringe. Not tassels, fringe. But you could add tassels too if you wanted to add tassels. So, actually maybe on my sample I can show you guys how I would sew it together if I was going to make it an infinity scarf. So basically what you would do is you would take your scarf and fold it in half so that you have your two ends together. So here's my first square and here's my last square. And basically what I would do is I would line my ends together. And then, oh no, do I actually not have it? Oh yes I do. Then you'll need what's called a darning needle, which is a special needle that has a big eye so that your yarn actually fits in it. It's specifically for sewing yarn. And so here's my end that I kind of just left in from when I started it. And what I would do is I would use what's called the whip stitch. And I basically we're going to go under both of the V's again. And we're going to go from the back to the front. So I'm going to go under the two V's of the back stitch and then go under the two V's of the front stitch and then pull it closed like that. And then you're basically just going to repeat that motion to make what's called the whip stitch. This end is definitely not long enough to sew all the way, but it'll be enough to show you guys what I'm doing. So basically I just keep going. And you would basically keep doing this all the way to the end of your stitches. And see, it makes that really nice seam. And then it would just be a big circle. So this would all be sewn in, and then it actually just makes it look really nice. Now the only thing with that is you'll have this big patch of the same color. So if you wanted to do it this way, I would probably recommend ending on your color B as your last square, so that it still continues that every other square pattern. I mean, you could do it like this, and then you would just know that that's the back piece. But if you wanted it to be, like for me, I would want it to be even, so I would do another square here with my second color so that it's a continuous pattern. But anyway, that is one way you can end your scarf, and then it becomes an infinity scarf. The other way is that you could add fringe. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, instead of taking it from this yarn, I have this leftover swatch that I made forever ago with the same yarn. And I'll show you guys how I make fringe with this scrap. So basically what you want to do is you want to cut 3 strings, probably about like a foot long. You can kind of eyeball it, but you want 3 strands the same length. So here's 2, and here is 3. And then you're going to take your 3 strands together. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. And then this is technically how long your fringe would be, but you could always trim it too once it's on there. And so what I'd like to do is I will find my corner, and then I basically hook those 3 strand loops onto my hook and pull it through that hole that I made. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would not have thought to use the hook.
Really?
Yes, I would have tried to cram it through there and then got frustrated.
Oh no! Yeah, I've always done it with my hook. That's so funny.
Because
Well, I'm
you
glad that I used
are a smart problem solver. I am a caveman banging stones together, hoping it works.
Well, that's why you're on my stream. So I'm teaching you everything.
So you teach me how to make
teach
rational
you my ways. Yeah, so I pull it through like this, just enough to where I can get my fingers through it. And then what I'll do is I'll grab all 6 strands and pull it through that loop. And then basically you just pull it tight. And then there's your fringe.
Whoa!
And then you could like adjust it to where
It's perfect.
looks whatever way you want it to look. I usually don't like to trim it until I do it all the way across. And you can kind of just eyeball it. Usually I like to do the corners first, and then I sometimes like to do like every 3 stitches I'll add another one, and I usually put my hook in between the stitches, like make a space between each stitch, not going through an actual stitch. So here I'll do one more just for good measure. You could do your fringe all in one color. You could do the fringe in like different colors, like have one like this gold, have one in blue, or you can mix the colors together. So instead of doing 3 strands, like you could do 4 strands and have like 2 yellow, 2 blue together. Really, it's entirely up to you. If you want to do a different color that you think would like go well with the 2 colors of your scarf, go for it. And it's like an accent color. The world is your oyster. It's your scarf. You do what you want.
Have you heard that song, One Night in Bangkok?
Mm-mm.
One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster.
Nope.
Classic. I discovered that song with Michael at Bible college.
Oh boy.
That was fun.
Okay, so I have my next 3 strands. These ones I probably cut a little too long. That's okay. And then we're gonna hook those on my hook. Pull it through, get my fingers in there, pull the 6 strands in and pull it tight. So see? And then yeah, I'd probably go every 3. So there'd be one here, one here, one here, one here, and then one here in the corner. And I don't know, I think I'd probably do 2 different colors. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will add fringe to my finished one, and then I can show you guys next week how it turned out. But yeah, that's basically the 3 different ways you could end your scarf. You could leave it as is. You could, if you want it to be circular, you could make it an infinity scarf by sewing it together, or you can make it fancy by adding some fringe.
Cute.
What do you think you're gonna do, Becca? You gonna leave it as is?
Oh man, I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to finish it.
I kind of like the infinity scarf thing. I really
Yeah.
like that a lot. I guess it depends, because I have a pretty weird big head and a long neck, so sometimes infinity scarves don't look very flattering on me, depending on the size. But this is wide enough where I think it would look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to make really thin scarves,
Right.
and then I would put them on and I'd be like, they don't cover anything. Which is my own foolishness. But this is thick enough that it would probably be a really nice... I don't know, I guess I'll probably play with it when I'm finished and see which one I like better. I'm leaning more towards the infinity scarf right now, though. Because it's a really nice design. I like infinity scarves a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I'm thinking that I might make my sample one an infinity scarf, and then have this one be a fringe one. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and do like a full tutorial video, like pattern of this beginner scarf, and then I'll
That's a good idea.
leave it as is, and then I can have the other 2 samples as like examples of how you can make it.
I
how
like
you can
the
finish it
colors
off.
of the sample one that you did.
Yeah, those colors turn out really nice.
Yeah. The green.
And those were just random colors on my shelf.
Randos.
So.
They're really pretty. I like them a lot.
All right, you guys.
Good
I think
job.
we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the evening. Look at Becca go with her crochet.
Yeah. I switch between the 2 styles when my hands get tired.
I do that too.
Do you?
Honestly, sometimes I'm like I feel like crocheting this way, but I always go back to my original way because that's how I crochet fast. But all right, well, we wrapped up our last session of working on our beginner scarf, so we are done, you guys. Congratulations on finishing your first project, even though we did not finish ours.
Thank you.
We're gonna pretend we finished ours. Anyway, next week,
Granny squares?
I'm trying to think. Well, we could do granny squares. So I could teach the double crochet next. We could do granny squares. That might be actually fun.
Double crochet?
Double crochet. Yeah, maybe we'll learn. Maybe we'll do that. We'll learn the double crochet next week, and then we will let you guys get your supplies for the next project, and we'll learn the granny square, and then we'll maybe make a small granny square blanket.
That'd be cute. A little granny blanket.
That'd be fun.
Oh, it's a granny blanket. Sorry.
It's a granny blanket.
For your nan.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to decide if we'll end up taking Christmas weekend off or not. Maybe do our next live at the new year. We can start our granny square project then.
Yeah, because what day is Christmas? That's a Saturday, right?
Christmas is a Friday.
Christmas is a Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take the holiday.
Yeah, take the weekend off.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys know next week because we'll have one for sure next week, and then I can keep you guys posted on if we're gonna take Christmas weekend off. But so next week we'll be learning a new stitch, and Wednesday nights we do Whip Wednesday hangout. So if you have projects you need to work on or just want a community to come hang out, and be productive. We will be here Wednesday at 7 p.m.
What?
And then we will also be here next Sunday, and we will be continuing our Learning the Crochet Basics series and learning how to double crochet. I will also be having a tutorial video on double crochet that will go live before next Sunday, and this is my accountability to get that done this week. So let's see if I follow through.
You can do it. I know you can.
And so, like, for those who miss the live and want to be able to learn it, they will be able to find the video on my YouTube.
Oh, smart.
And then we'll probably take Christmas weekend off, and then we'll start our next community project January 2nd.
January 2nd?
Or 3rd.
3rd?
That's Sunday, the first weekend of January. I will have all the dates and for sure information next week. But for now, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and hanging out and chillaxing and working on our beautiful scarves. Again, with your finished projects, we would love to see your projects. Maybe even figure out how we can like share them next week or something on here. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Maybe my husband knows. Maybe we'll figure it out. If not, that's okay. Use the hashtag MDC Beginner Scarf, and then I would love to feature you on my Instagram and see your guys' amazing projects. Without further ado, we are going to bid you a good night. Again, my name is Dana, and this is Becca, and we will see you guys Wednesday and next Sunday. Have a good night and a good week. Bye-bye. Bye.